Hello, you guys. Cindy here. I apologize for the delay. We have had some little technical glitches today. So you may not have gotten the email about my live today. However, here I am, and I'm talking about toxic relationships. There's a lot of talk about narcissistic personality disorders, toxic relationships, what that is, and why we actually get into them. I want to first start off by saying that I believe that if you've been in a relationship or you've had any experience with relationships, at one point or another, you've been in a toxic relationship. You just have been. And so whether it's with a friendship or a man or any other variety, there's maybe with an employer, there's been a toxic type of relationship that has taken place. It has transpired. So what I want to share with you about toxic relationships, there's a few different kinds that to really be aware of and to really take a look at. There's one thing I will tell you, and if it's the only thing that you get out of this, is to move slower in the beginning, to move faster later on. So move slower in the beginning to move faster later on. Here's why. Because it can take some time to get to know someone. It can also take some time to really have everything kind of become revealed. However, on the flip side of that, if you know the right questions to ask and you're conscious and aware, that means you're not letting chemistry get into the way, which can be difficult. I know it's easier said than done. Then it can be easier to detect. So I'm going to talk first about 3 types of toxic relationships. And I don't know if I'll be able to get into the whys we become attracted to them or why there's patterning. There's usually a patterning around toxic relationships, and it has to do with childhood. It has to do with our memory. Our brain does this thing called looping, and it's almost like muscle memory. So it's easy for us to get back into a toxic relationship if that's what we're comfortable with. So you could watch all the videos and read all the books that you want. In my experience, unless you are working on it and working through it, seeking to understand and actually doing the work around this, it can be really difficult to see. I mean, the reality is breaking patterns around this is tough to do alone, especially if you have patterns. So, if you see yourself in more than one situation that maybe it doesn't feel the same or look the same, but there's just some similarities there. Maybe they're an addict, or they're a workaholic. They're not available for some way, shape, or form, or they start to things start off really great, and then slowly he starts to undercut you, tear you down as far as not really supporting you or lifting you up. So those are some signs, right? 3 specific types of toxic type of people, toxic relationships to look out for. Number 1 is typically somebody that is more of a toxic person, not as healthy and well balanced. And I would say going from a secure, not coming from a secure attachment style, they will tend to rush into relationship. They just do. And they will try to get you committed to them very quickly. They want to get you off the market. They want you to be all theirs. They want to control you in some capacity. And, you know, the thing that can be deceptive about this is it can feel really good. You know, it's like, oh, he really wants me. He really likes me. He wants, you know, me to be all his. But here's the thing. If you don't really know him, it's, you know, it's hard to look at thinking, you know, this person doesn't really know me. He just wants to take me off the market based on a few hours that we spent together, right? So if you look at it from that perspective, from an outside perspective, you want to take things a little bit slower. You might be thinking, well, Cindy, I like to explore one person at a time. And I hear you. However, it's much better to start off getting to know somebody slower. And if it's the right type of person, he's going to stick around and respect that. You guys are just getting to know each other. You really like, you're attracted to him, you like him, and you're not quite there on the commitment front together. You're just not quite there. So toxic relationships it can look like, you know, somebody that's trying to move really quickly with you. They do what's called love bombing. So they tell you how amazing and wonderful and great you are. So this is one type. This is more of the narcissistic style of person. So, hey, you guys. Guess what? Hey, you go out there. Please.
Oh, my swimsuit.
Okay. Do you want to sit here with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, sorry, you guys. So the second type of toxic relationship that we have seen. Do you want to be quiet for a second? Okay. So the second type of toxic relationship person or persona I see is the unavailable type. And, you know, a lot of times you can have unavailable patterns and not even be aware of them.
Hello.
Be quiet.
Hello.
Be quiet. Okay. So if you guys need me to do this again, I will, but it can always be entertaining with Max here. So the second type is the unavailable type. Now, the unavailable type of person, relationship, persona is typically someone that is exactly what he's not really available. And that can manifest itself in different ways. They could live long distance. They could be somebody that, you know, is not really as proactive in getting together. They could be a workaholic. They could also be somebody that might not be fully available. They might be in another relationship and they might be telling you that they're getting out of that relationship and you guys have a really great connection, which is all fine and good. However, it keeps you from actually pursuing something that's truly available. So it keeps you on the hook. It's like you've got that carrot dangling in front of your face. And you know, those can be really deceptive.
And touch you by me.
Could you be quiet? Okay. You can smile. So So the second one
What?
is the.
It's play.
Should be quiet. So the second type, like I said, it's the unavailable type. So, and this also includes if you're in a more of a pen pal relationship with someone. So if you're writing someone on social media, text messaging, every single day you're not talking to them, you're not actually getting together with them in person, that is not a real relationship. It's a fantasy relationship. It's what you've created in your mind to be real, and there might be a real connection over paper,
Mommy,
or email.
I get to family.
And so when it comes to that, I mean, those can be deceptive, right? So then the third type is, it's more of the codependent type. So this is, and there can be some personality disorder or some enabling type.
I go.
Okay, be quiet.
Down. Please.
Okay, so anyway, do you want to go out?
No. Keep me.
Okay, so I'm trying, you guys. I may get to reshoot this one. So at any rate,
I want some chocolate.
When it comes, you want some chocolate. So when it comes
Try
to
chocolate.
okay, when it comes to
It's yummy.
Sleepy. Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna let him out.
I want to go to the bathroom.
You can go to the bathroom.
Please, honey.
Yeah, you can go to the bathroom. Sorry, you guys. I normally lock the door, but I did not. So he's going to. So the third type is the enabler, or the one that is, there's a lot of confusion in this toxic personality type. And a lot of times, so with each relationship, like there's the emotional abuse, there's verbal, there's even physical abuse. But this cycle happens typically because it feels familiar, right? So the third type is the enabler. So you may be more of a rescuer type of a personality where you just want to help someone. And as women, we're nurturers by nature. And so we will put somebody else's needs before ours. And this is a big one. This one is the sneakiest one because you're more responsible. It's not a narcissistic personality type. It's you enabling, the behavior, right? And this is where loose boundaries are. Loose boundaries come in, and needing to really get clear on what it is you want, what you're willing to accept, and going back to your self-worth. So it all really starts with you and your self-love and clarity around what it is you want, what you're willing to accept. Because what can happen in that codependent enabling cycle is this person's going to let you down. And in all of them, they're going to let you down. They're going to hurt you because you're going to be their hero. And then all of a sudden you're zero to them. And what it invokes is this energy where you're constantly trying to get them to love you. So you're in the chasing energy, and it feels crappy, right? It lowers the self-esteem. It makes you feel like, who's going to really love me? All of those things. But you guys, here's the biggest key. If you get into that loop where you're trying to help somebody, you're trying to save them, you get to set boundaries around that and really look at, wouldn't it be amazing to be in a relationship with someone that's fully available, that's fully on, at the same level as me, or aspiring to be there, right? Because we can only be as high vibrationally wise or go as deep in a relationship as lowest common denominator. So if he's not able to go deep, or he's not able to connect in a relationship where he's deflecting responsibility, which is a narcissistic trait, he's not taking responsibility, you know, all those things. He's just deflecting. But that, you know, the last one's a big one, because what I see happen a lot is women will extract themselves from that relationship and then still stay connected to them and be supportive of that man, of that partner per se. And what ends up happening, or past partner, what ends up happening, and they feel bad, so they don't want to hurt them, or they become their best friend, or they don't want to tell them if, you know, you moved on or you're dating anyone. You know, that's part of getting involved with people, and that fear that you're going to hurt them and crush their world is really an ego thing. So it's really more about you than it is about them. Because do you think that somebody else thought that deeply before they hurt you? Do you think that person that you enabled really thought about you and your feelings before they did the things they did? You know, with a narcissistic personality disorder, depending on the scale, they do not have the capacity to really love. And that's a love bomb on you. They don't have the capacity to love. So you could be in a 20-year relationship with somebody that has a narcissistic personality disorder that can't even see it, that's not willing to shift and heal, and you've been in a relationship that's been loveless. So what I'm sharing with you guys today is looking at what are signs of toxic relationships. And this week I'm going to be diving deeper into toxic relationships, what they look like, why we get into them, and the steps to take to heal. This is a really important thing, to open up your heart and actually receive love. This is the number one thing. This is the number one obstacle that I see in women today that are literally blocking themselves from amazing and lasting love. So I hope this helps. If you know a woman that needs to hear this today, please go ahead and share this video with them, as well as if you're on YouTube, you get to see my son today. And just go ahead and follow us. I literally post videos almost every single day, and you can hit the little bell. It's the alert button, so you know when I have new videos out. Sending you so much love. Thanks again for being here. And I would love to hear, have you ever experienced one form of toxic relationship? And, you know, I would love to hear that. What was it? What was it? Thank you so much. Lots of love.